Hi guys, welcome to Module 3, Chapter 10, Lengths, Areas, and Volumes. I'm Miranda Curtis, and guys, we're going to do some cool math. You ready? We're going to go to question 1. Question 1A, module, this is going to be A through C. Okay, so our first one is how many mouthfuls are in a gill? Well, we have to come over here and we look at our chart. So we start by 1 gill equals 2 jacks. So our Jill is a smiley face and our jacks are going to be suns. Okay, so next we look at 2 jacks. So right here's 2. So there's 1 jack right there. So 1 jack equals 2 jiggers. So for every Jill, we have 2 jacks. So the jacks are going to be hearts. Okay, so that makes 4. So then we need to look at jacks. 1 jack equals 2 jiggers. And then 2 jiggers over here, 1 jigger equals 2 mouthfuls. So now we have to put in our jiggers. So for each heart, we need 2 mouthfuls. And see if you notice, 1, you have 2, 1, 2, and 2. So if you look, if you multiply by 2, that will give us 8 mouthfuls. Okay, so our next question is, how many mouthfuls are in a cup? Okay, let's start again. Okay, so our cylinder right here is gonna be, we're gonna start with our cup. So we're gonna go over here on our chart. 1 cup equals 2 jills. So 1 cup, we have 2 smiley faces, 2 jills, and then we have to look over here at jills. Well, 1 jill equals 2 jacks. We come down again and we add our jacks, 2 jacks, and then 1 jack equals 2 jiggers. Again, we'll multiply by 2, put our little hearts up there, and then 2 jiggers, looking at the jiggers, 2 jiggers over here, and 1 jigger equals 2 mouthfuls. So then you have all your mouthfuls, and so our answer is going to be 16 mouthfuls in a cup. Next, we're going to look at how many mouthfuls are in a pint. Oh, we're getting bigger. Okay, so here's our pint right there, right here. So 1 pint, so square is going to be our pint, equals 2 cups. So we have our 2 cups right there. And then remember, we're going in sets of 2, 1 for every 2. So then we're going to come down here in 2 cups. So 2 cups, 1 cup equals, 2 jills. 2 jills, we come over here to jills, and we have 2 jacks. So 2 jacks, go to 1 over here, go to your chart, go 1 jack equals 2 jiggers. Make sure you make your pretty little pictures down here. It helps you keep track. Okay, and then we go 2 jiggers, and remember 1 jigger. So we're multiplying by 2 again, remember? So then we have 2 mouthfuls, and we have all our little friends. So our answer is 32 mouthfuls. Now we're going to go to question B. Okay, suppose 1 mouthful, 1 jigger, 1 jack, etc., goes all the way up to 1 gallon are poured into an empty pail. Does the pail overflow its exact filling, or is there room for 1 more? Okay, so we started off with 1 mouthful. Guys, remember, we don't have just 1 mouthful. If you look over here at our measurements, sorry, my nose is bothering me. On our chart, 1 jigger is 2 mouthfuls. So we're always going by 2s. So we have right here, guys, we have pints. Remember, we do ice cream by pints. And then we have cups, and we measure things by cups when we bake. And then we have quarters. Sorry, my nose is really bothering me. We have quarters. Again, we do this by baking. And then we have gallons. Remember, milk. If you think about gallons, think about milk. Cups. You think about also you're cooking with it, or you're drinking cups. And then, you have gallons. Again, we're thinking about milk. It probably makes it a little bit easier. So we sit there and we have it in our little pail right there. That's what that is. That was a pail. And you start with 1 and you go all the way. You start at your highest one. You got 2 gallons right here, guys. 2. So we only need 1 gallon, right? So we sit here, we make our pictures, and you come all the way through. But remember, guys, our measurements are by twos, and they just want a 1. So if you look at all the room we have left, there is room for one more mouthful in this pail. I like him. He looks like a little character off of a video game. Okay, so now we're going to go to question 2, and this is module 3, guys. Okay, find the area perimeter of the triangles. That looks hard, but it's not going to be. Okay, so we're looking at A over here, and we're going to have to do our formula. A equals a half base times height. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill it in. Okay, so we have a half times, look right here, we have 42. I think I meant 41. Did I put 42? I really did put 42. Oh, I know what I did. Okay, at 41 times 82.3. So we're going to come over here. You're going to have your handy dandy calculator. You put 1 divided by 2, which is your half, times 41 times 82.3. And that's, see, this answer is wrong right there. Sorry, guys. It is 1,687. Now, if the next point over, if it was like a 5 or above, you'd round up, but you don't have to. So what it's going to give you, because you're multiplying your m's, it's going to give you square. So it's going to give you 1,687 m squared. Now we're going to come down to perimeter. Perimeter is way easier. If you look over here, we're just going to add up these 3 sides right here, and we're going to go 48 plus 69 plus 82.3, and our perimeter is 200.5 m. And we don't have to add square or anything like that because we're just adding them. Okay, now we're going to go to our next one. It looks way easier, doesn't it? Okay, again, guys, we're going to do our formula. A equals, which is area, a half times base times height. So we're going to come in and see this long little piece right here. This is our base. Okay, so we're going to do 37, and he says along, if you're following this really, really long piece right here, this is going to be your height, and it's 96.2 and gives you 1,779.7 inches square. Remember, we're multiplying, so you have to do square. Okay, then you come over here in perimeter. Guys, remember what perimeter is? You just add all these out here. So you do 37 plus 88.8 plus 96.2 inches, and it gives you 222 inches. Okay, remember our other one? This one's a little trickier, but remember when you have in your picture, you have these little lines, and they have the measurements, you need to go by those. Okay, so it's the same formula though. Even though it looks tricky, it really isn't. We're going to do area equals a half times base. So half, we're going to have to come right here to this line, 2.6 cm times 6.2 right here, base. This is height, 6.2 cm, and that gives you 8.06 cm. Remember, you're going to do square because you're multiplying. Right there, multiplying. Now we're going to do a perimeter. Remember, this is the outside. So we're going to do 3.1, and then you have 8.5, and then you have 6.2, which your perimeter is going to be 17.8 centimeters. Remember, we're adding, so you don't do the square. Okay, so here's question 3. A square with the side of length of 10 inches is inscribed, means in the middle, in a, means they're all inside of each other. Inscribed means inside. And scribbles around means going around, circles. Which is larger, the area of the region between the circles or the area inside the circles? Okay, this is going to look hard, but it really isn't. Okay, so the area of a circle is A equals pi, and then you have radius squared. Now, when you do your radius, you're going to half. So this little 10 right here, you're going to half it. So it's going to give you 5 squared. So it's going to be 25 pi units squared. Okay, next we're going to do is you're going to do square lengths. And you're going to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And that's 5 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. That's going to give you 50 units squared. Next, we're going to do that again. But we have to do this for our square. Okay, so we're going to do pi times r radius squared. So again, remember, you have to do that in half. Okay, so it's 10, but we're going to do our units over here. We're going to bring them over. and we're going to do 50 squared. So 50 pi r units squared. Okay, and now to get all of this, we're going to put it together. Now we're going to take the 25 and the 50 and we're going to minus. And it's going to give 25 pi units squared. So the smaller circle and the region between the circles both have the same in area of a 25 unit square. The area of the regions are the same. I know it sounded hard, but it really isn't if you follow your steps. Okay, this one's fun. It looks hard. I know. I looked at it and I was like, but it's not. Find the volume of the cone. What is the volume of a pyramid or a cone with a base and area and height? Both have a base, radius r, and height 2r, and the sphere has a radius r. Show that the ratio of the volumes of the cone to the sphere to the cylinder is 1 to 2 to 3. Use pi if needed. Okay, first we're going to have to start over here. We got to find the volume of the cone. And so what we got to do is 1/3 times base times height. So I added values over here, so it makes it easier to go through it and check. Okay, so we're going to say that our base is 10 and that our height is 15. So our value, so it's going to be 50. Okay, then we're going to come over and we're going to find the area of the circle or the radius. So that's going to be b equals pi times radius squared. So remember, we're going to cut this in half, and it's going to give us 5 squares, so it's going to give us 78.5. Okay, and then next we're going to find the volume of the cylinder, and we did that with base times height. So now we got to come all the way over here, and we're going to substitute the height of 2r and the base of pi r squared into the equation, and we're going to do 2/3. I'm not lost. We're going to find the volume of the circular cone. Sorry guys, if you don't follow the step, you'll get lost. Excuse me. We're going to find the circular cone. 2/3 are pi r thirds, not squares, thirds. Remember that third, because you're going to get a weird, wacky equation if you don't. Okay, so when you come down to it, it gives you 262. Okay, then you're going to find volume, base, and height, and that is your cylinder. And so remember, it's 10 by 15, which gives you 150. And then we're going to come over here and find the base of the cylinder is a circle. So the area of it is base pi r squared. So so pi is 3.14, which makes it way easier when you multiply out 5 squared. Remember that 10 slashed in half gives you 78.5. Okay, next we're going to substitute the values of the base and area into the equation, the volume of a cylinder, which is 2 pi r third. So we're going to go 2 times 3.145 the third is 785. And then we're going to come over here. Now we're going to find the volume of the sphere, which is the volume area of a sphere, which is radius r, which is 4/3 pi r third. Again, guys, remember third. So 4/3 times 3.145 to third is 523.3. So defining the volume of the cone by the volume of the cone results in 1. Divide the volume of a sphere by the volume of the cone results in 2. And divide the volume of the cylinder by the volume of the cone results in 3. I know it feels hard, but it really isn't. You do your steps, it really does help. So question 5a, find the surface area of the figure and identify the figure. So first we need to identify the figure, makes it easier. It's a trapezoid prism. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, our formula is base equals half times a plus b equals height. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to come over here. We know this pretty little shape over here. So we're going to do half. We're going to take 26 plus 17 times 12. Okay, gives us 258 centimeters squared. Remember where you're multiplying, so you do square. Now we're going to do perimeter. Remember, perimeter is outside. So we're going to do 26 plus 12 plus 17 plus 15. We're not doing 4 because that's the height. It's not all the outside. I know it's confusing. You're like, all the numbers. It's not. So it gives us 70 centimeters. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do another equation. This is the surface area. So SA, surface area, equals 2B plus P and H. So what we're going to do is 2 times 258. We're going to bring the 258 plus 70. We're going to bring the 70 down times 4. Here's our 4. and that equals 796 centimeters squared. Remember, we're multiplying, so you have to square. Okay, now we're going to go to our next figure, and this is 5B. Find the surface area of the figure and identify the figure. So what is the figure, guys? Can you guess? Da, da, da. Triangles. Okay, we're going to do the same as we did with the other one. We're going to do base equals a half times width times height. So half, we're going to come over here to 8. That's that side right there. It's the base of a triangle. And we're going to do 15 right here is the bottom. And we're going to get 60 m squared. Now we're going to find the perimeter. So we're going to get 8 plus 15 plus 17 equals 40 p. Then we're going to again do the surface area. So it's 2b plus ph. So we're going to 2, we're going to bring down 60 plus 40. Remember, you brought that down times 7. This pretty little number right here. Remember, we didn't add in our perimeter. So that's going to give us 400 m squared. Remember, you multiplied. Okay, now we're going to do question 6. Find the surface area and volume of the solids. Isn't that pretty shape? It looks like a pill. Okay, so now we're going to start over here. And what we're going to do is identify the formula of the surface area, which is S equals 4 pi r squared. So what we're going to do is we multiply. So 4, we're going to, remember pi is 3.14, and we're going to put 4 right here, because remember, when you do radius, you cut that right there in half, because it says the whole length. So 8 and a half is 4. So 4 squared is giving 201 feet squared. Remember, you multiplied. Now we're going to come over here to surface area, because it's a circle. Don't forget about that. And so we're going to do 2 times 3.14, which is pi. R, remember, was 4. And then we have right here is our height is 21. So that gives us 528 feet squared. Now we're going to add into our bigger one. And this is the sub-value of the radius and the length into the formula for the surface area of the object. See, that's what all this is. That is the formula. The surface area equals 2 pi r height plus 4 pi r squared. So you're going to bring over here, you're going to bring your 201, and your 528 gives you 729 feet squared. Okay, now this looks hard, but it's not. You're going to bring this over. And this nice, pretty thing, I know it scares some people, but it's really not. You're just subbing the values for the radius and the length and height into the formula and calculating the volume of the object, rounding the nearest whole value. So what you're going to do is you're going to go V equals 4/3 3 pi r third plus pi r squared height. Okay, so you're just putting your values in. It seems hard, but it's really not. So you're going to do 4/3 times 3.14 times 4, remember thirds, plus 3.14, which is pi. These are pi. And you're bringing that 4 down, remember this radius, squared plus 21 equals 1,323 feet thirds. It's thirds. Okay, here's B. This one looks like a little corn stand to me. But we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to come over here, we're going to find and identify the formula of the surface area of the object. Notice the object can be broken down into cylinders in a cone. So what we're going to do is we're going to sub in our values. Surface area equals pi r squared plus pi r side plus 2 pi r height. I know, it's a mouthful. It's really not that hard, I promise. You put in your calculator, you get it. Yeah, you really do, as long as you don't mess up on your values. Okay, so we're going to do pi. Remember, pi is 3.14 times 2m, because that was our measurement, squared, plus, again, pi is 3.1, 2 squared, so I got right there for you, plus 6, remember this pretty little side right here, plus 2, and then times 3.14 times 2 times 10. That gives us 176 m squared, because we're multiplying. Now we're going to come down here and we're going to find the volume of the object. Okay, when the radius h1 is the radius h2, cylinder h2, the height of the cone, and b is the area of the base. So what you're going to do is h2, you're going to do pi, the side, which is 6 right here, radius is 2. So you just put it in, and you do pi. You can do this in your calculator. You can do 6 squared minus 2 squared is 5.66. Now we're going to fill it in. and we're going to find the volume of this object. Just like we did over here, almost, we're going to do it over here. So V equals pi r squared h1 plus 1/3 base times height and 2. So what we're going to do is 3.14 times 2 squared times 10 plus 1/3. Remember, pi is 3.14 times 2 squared. And we fill in that 5.6 right here. We fill it in over here. And it gives us 149 m squared. Guys, thank you for watching my module. I can't wait to see you guys on the next one. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you didn't get lost. And I hope you had fun. Y'all have a good evening.